Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what happens when you have a little bit of uncontrolled cell growth and division. This can result in a mass of cells that invade and destroy healthy tissue. Preventing or curing cancer requires an understanding of how a person's healthy cells can become cancerous. So let's talk about that. So what is cancer? Cancer is a group of severe, sometimes fatal diseases that are caused by uncontrolled cell growth. Uncontrolled cell growth and division can result in masses of cells that invade and destroy healthy tissue. So we will also form this mass called a tumor. So we have a benign tumor. In a benign tumor, this does not spread to other parts of the body and can often be removed with simple surgery. The other type of tumor is a malignant tumor. In a malignant tumor, it invades and destroys nearby healthy tissues and cells in organs. Malignant tumors or cancer can break loose from their tissue of origin and grow throughout the body. If this happens, the cancer is said to have metastasized. Once it's metastasized, it becomes very hard to treat. And the reason it becomes hard to treat is because that cancer is no longer just in one localized area, say the lung, but it's in multiple areas of the body, and each cell that breaks off from that cancerous tumor can spread to any cell, any other portion of the body. And when it gets stuck or lodged there, it will start its uncontrolled cell growth in that spot. And so they become really hard to treat because you're trying to treat the overall body. So how do we treat cancer? Well, one of the most common ways to treat cancer is through a process we know as chemo or chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is a drug treatment for cancer. And so basically you are going to be given a series of drugs. Now, they are going to hopefully affect the organ that has the cancer in it and destroys it. However, remember this. People who have chemotherapy get really, really sick. They get very weak, and chemo is poison in our bodies. So we're basically putting these chemicals in that are killing cells. And not just cancer cells, but killing fast-growing cells. And so they can make you really, really sick. The other way to treat it is through targeted radiation, where they actually give radiation to a specific point in the body to kill those cells around there. Note, radiation and chemotherapy can be poisonous to your bodies. You're killing cells. That's what the job of these two treatments is to specifically kill cells. However, healthy cells die in the process too. So people who go through these treatments become very sick and very weak. The other treatment is surgery, where you are able to go through and remove that. And that's usually done with the benign tumors. So they can go in, they can remove all the cancer, and you may not have to go through radiation or chemotherapy. You might be able to remove it with surgery. It just depends on the type of cancer. Some will have a combination of two or even all three. Now, there are different stages of cancer. There's stage 1 through 4. Stage 1 being the beginning stage. These are usually your early stages. The tumor isn't very big, it hasn't metastasized, and is easily treated. Then there's stage 4. In stage 4 cancer, depending on the type of cancer it is, it's the ending stage. It is almost impossible to treat in some cases. Even with surgery and radiation and chemotherapy or a combination of all, it becomes very hard to treat. A lot of times in stage 4, these have metastasized. You've seen them develop in other portions of the body, and it becomes very hard to treat these. And so patients in stage 4 don't have as high a survival rate as patients in stage 1. So how can we prevent these things? So right now, I think you guys know a little bit about cancer. Why don't you pause and make a list of things to prevent cancer from spreading in your body or from you getting cancer. Okay, so the best way to avoid cancer is to avoid things that cause cancer, such as sunlight. Don't go out and tan. Don't go out and smoke cigarettes. Also, try to stay away from areas where you might be exposed to things that are toxic, that can cause this, drug abuse, things like that. Realize too, there are people that have never smoked a cigarette a day in their life, but have been around secondhand smoke, that will get lung cancer. Where you have other people that may smoke always, and they never get it. Your genes do play a key role in making you susceptible to some of these types of cancers. Know what type of cancer runs in your family and be able to get screening for it. If you start screening for these cancers earlier and avoiding some of these triggers, then you're more likely to be cancer free. However, even the healthiest people in the world that may run marathons and take care of themselves and do everything right, they can still get cancer. And so really your genetics and your environmental factors, a combination of which will play a role in this. Every person in this room right now has an oncogene. It's just sitting there, waiting to be turned on. When that oncogene turns on, you have uncontrolled cell growth and cancers start to form. There might not be any reason for it, and you really can't always determine why. So don't just think it's because of how you live your life causes cancer. However, it can make you more susceptible to certain types of cancer. Now, tomorrow you're going to work in a group and you are going to create a presentation on a specific type of cancer. This slide, this slide talks about some ways that you can prevent it, going to get early screenings, things like that. The Mayo Clinic is a great resource, and that's why this is on here. The Mayo Clinic talks about a lot of different types of cancers, how to treat them, and they're really one of the cutting edge hospitals on technology and new ways to treat cancer. So make sure to use that resource wisely as you go through this. This is a list of the different types of cancers. Now, you're not limited to this list, but this is a good starting point list for your projects. And so you can look at some of these cancers and decide which ones you would like to pick from. No group can have the same type of cancer, so there'll be 8 different presentations on 8 different types of cancers. Now, please make sure that you're not taking the same type of cancer as someone else, and do a little research. This is supposed to be a little bit of an informative thing, but also some of you have been personally touched by cancer, and so I understand that this could be something that you can learn from to actually help with your own health as well. Okay, you have an assignment on Classroom that is due tomorrow. Please finish that and have a great day.